Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Surabhi Sharma. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 28th of August. Pakistan uses terror as diplomatic tool, says Indian Foreign Minister Jaishankar. Pakistan closes Karachi airspace amid soaring ties with India. And Afghanistan's first Vice President Dostum questions Ghani's policies on peace security. And now for all the details. India's Foreign Minister Jaishankar, who is on a two-day Russia visit, while speaking at a think tank, said that Pakistan is using terror as a diplomatic tool and obstructing trade in the region.
India's Foreign Minister Jaishankar, who is on a two-day Russia visit, slammed Pakistan for using terror as a diplomatic tool and called it a very unique phenomenon. Jaishankar's sharp rebuke of Pakistan came when he was asked a question on the India-Pakistan relationship at think tank Valde Club in Moscow. He also pointed out that Pakistan had refused to grant the most favoured nation status to India, even as New Delhi had granted it to the neighbouring country. Post the Pulwama terror attack on February 14, India had withdrawn the most favoured nation status granted to Pakistan.
The problem with Pakistan is very different because I would say today, if you look at international relations, I cannot think of any other country in the world which actually uses terrorism as a diplomatic tool against its neighbor. So it's actually a very unique phenomenon.
Jaishankar's Russia visit comes days ahead of Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok in September, where Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be the chief guest.
Indian Vice President VENKATA Naidu on Wednesday said that if talks would happen between New Delhi and Islamabad in future, they would be only on the issue of part of Kashmir under Pakistan's illegal occupation. Naidu reiterated India's stand that Kashmir is an internal matter.
Indian Vice President VENKATA Naidu said on Wednesday that if talks are held with Pakistan, they will only be about the part of Kashmir under Pakistan's illegal occupation. Keeping with India's stand, Naidu said that Kashmir is an integral part of India while speaking at a public event in southern Visakhapatnam city.
Kashmir is an integral part of India. From 1952 onwards, 54 onwards, elections are held. Chief ministers are elected. There is an elected government at the state. Members of parliament are being elected. And what is there not to discuss? Yes, there is something remains to be discussed. I do agree. The remaining thing to discuss is about with our neighbor is hand over the remaining part of Kashmir to us. That is POK.
Naidu's statement came a day after Pakistani opposition leader Bilawal Bhutto Zardari slammed Prime Minister Imran Khan for his weak policies on Kashmir. He said that Imran Khan has put Pakistan in a position where they need to think on how to secure Muzaffarabad, the capital of Pakistan-administered Kashmir.
In news from Pakistan, Pakistan Civil Aviation Authority on Wednesday issued a notice to airmen closing 3 routes of Karachi airspace for international flights till August 31st. This came a day after Science and Technology Minister Fawad Hussain Chaudhry said Pakistan is considering a complete closure of airspace to India. Pakistan Civil Aviation Authority or CAA on Wednesday issued a notice to airmen or NOTAM closing 3 routes of Karachi airspace for all international flights from August 28th to August 31st. The notice has cited no reason for the closure. However, an alternate route has been suggested by the authority. The notification came a day after the country's Science and Technology Minister Fawad Hussain Chaudhry said on Twitter that Pakistan is considering a complete closure of airspace to India adding that the federal cabinet is also planning to ban India from using its territory for trade with Afghanistan. This comes amid heightening tensions between India and Pakistan over New Delhi's decision to revoke special status to Jammu and Kashmir earlier this month. Islamabad had announced downgrading of its diplomatic ties and suspension of bilateral trade with India following the move.
Well, Pakistan has been the troubleshooter right from the beginning. I mean, we all know that the hotbed of terrorism emanates from Pakistan. We all know how they've been instigating people in Kashmir. We know all that. And I think Pakistan will attempt to create more trouble in Kashmir. And we should be very careful about that.
Pakistan had earlier reopened its airspace to India in mid-July, having closed it in February after a suicide bomb attack by a Pakistan-based terror group in India led to tension between the nuclear-armed neighbours. In news from Afghanistan, Afghanistan's first Vice President Abdul Rashid Dostum has raised questions on President Ashraf Ghani's policies for the peace process and addressing the security situation in the country. This comes as ninth round of Afghan peace talks between the US and Taliban negotiators have begun in Doha.
Afghanistan's first Vice President Abdul Rashid Dostum on Tuesday raised questions on President Ashraf Ghani's policies for the peace process and addressing the security situation in the country. Addressing supporters in the northern province of Jowzjan, Dostum said that there is a dire need to expedite efforts for bolstering the peace process in Afghanistan. This comes in reference to Ghani's recent comments at a campaign rally where he said that he will bring strongmen to their knees. Former warlord Dostum has been a key player in Afghanistan since the early 1990s and first vice president under President Ashraf Ghani since 2014. His political reputation was badly damaged in 2016 after his former aide Ahmad Ishchi, who was once the governor of Jowzjan, accused him of sexual assault.
Moving on to news from Maldives, Maldivian Planning Minister Mohammad Aslam has said that the government will soon begin to interconnect and develop all the islands in the country. He said the initiative will be part of the National Development Plan to boost the economy of the local islands.
The Maldivian government on Tuesday said it will begin to interconnect and develop all the islands in the country in order to boost the economy of the local islands. Planning Minister Mohammad Aslam, speaking in the parliament, said that the government will develop all the islands under the country's National Development Plan. The minister said that the government will not just target to develop a single island of a region and will instead develop the region in such a way that the islands in each region are interconnected and dependent on each other. He said that Makunudhoo and other similar islands will not be excluded and added that sub-regions will be established and islands in each sub-region as well as islands in satellite clusters will be developed individually. The Maldives consists of 1,192 small tropical islands that cross strategic shipping routes, and it has a richly diverse marine environment.
A group of protesters rallied outside the Brazilian consulate in India's eastern Kolkata city on Tuesday against Brazil's president's response to the Amazon fires. The demonstrators also demanded protection for the Amazon rainforest, which has been on fire for the past month. Dozens of protesters rallied outside the Brazilian consulate in India's eastern Kolkata city on Tuesday against Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro's response to the Amazon fires. Demonstrators demanded protection for the Amazon rainforest while chanting and waving posters which said, "Save Amazon, burn Bolsonaro." Fires in the rainforest, mainly in Brazil, have been raging for the past month, drawing international concern because of its importance to the global environment.
अमेज़न फॉरेस्ट मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी को बेच देना चाहते हैं। इसके विरोधिता में इवन हमारी देश में भी छोटोनागपुर का जो मालभूमि है, जमी जंगल का जो स्ट्रगल चल रहा है अभी वहाँ का इंडिजिनस पीपल का उसका स्ट्रगल के सॉलिडारिटी में हमारा आज का ये प्रोटेस्ट है।
Brazilian President Bolsonaro has attributed the scale of the fires to drier than average weather and insisted on the need for the economic development of the Amazon to improve the lives of its 20 million inhabitants. Environmentalists have warned that his controversial plans for more agriculture and mining in the region will speed up deforestation. Artisans across India have started making idols of Hindu elephant-headed god Lord Ganesha ahead of a festival marking his birthday. The idols are worshipped every year during the 10-day-long festival and later immersed in water bodies.
Artisans across India have started preparing the idols of Lord Ganesha ahead of Ganesh Chaturthi, a 10-day-long Hindu festival celebrating the birth of the elephant-headed god. Artisans in India's northern Moradabad city are making eco-friendly idols to minimize ecological damage. Painted and decorated idols of Lord Ganesha are worshipped during the festival before they are immersed in rivers, lakes and seas.
आज ये मिट्टी की मूर्ति बनाते हैं हम वो भूसे उसे लगते हैं नाले के बांस लगता है उसमें खाने वाला कलर लगता है वो मूर्ति बनाते हैं बड़ी बड़ी मूर्ति 11 फीट है 10 फीट है 5 फीट है 7 फीट है फीट की है 1.25 फीट की हर तरह की ऐसे बनाते हैं.
Craftsmen in India's eastern Bhubaneswar city are also working on hundreds of idols which are made every year in batches. The idols made in different shapes and sizes are always given a coat of whitewash before the actual painting starts. The work on them starts 2 to 3 months prior to the festival.
6 फुट 7 फुट 8 फुट ऐसे रहता है और छोटा भी रहता है 1 फुट का है आधा फुट का है 180 से लगा के है 16-17 हज़ार तक है.
Celebrated as the rebirth of Lord Ganesha, devotees believe God of wisdom, prosperity and good fortune bestows his presence on earth during this auspicious occasion. This year Ganesh Chaturthi will be celebrated from September 2nd and will continue till September 12th.
Indian shuttler PUSARLA VENKATA Sindhu, who scripted history by becoming India's first badminton world champion in the women's singles in Basel, said she's eyeing Tokyo 2020 Olympic. Sindhu beat Japan's Nozomi Okuhara to win the women's singles.
Indian shuttler and women's singles badminton world championship gold medalist PUSARLA VENKATA Sindhu is savouring the heady moment on arrival home after the historic win. Sindhu, who became India's first badminton world champion when she beat Japan's Nozomi Okuhara to win the women's singles in Basel on Sunday, said she is eyeing Tokyo 2020 Olympic. After finishing runner-up at the 2016 Olympics, last year's Commonwealth Games and Asian Games, and the previous 2 World Championships finals, Sindhu played in 5 other finals last year without winning any of them, raising questions about her mental strength.
It's the Olympic year, Olympic qualification, so every tournament is very, very important for me. And of course, ultimate aim would be Tokyo 2020. But before that, it's more like when it comes to physical fitness or mental fitness or on-court sessions, you need to accordingly plan what it is, because nowadays everybody knows your game. Everybody will start to study your game. So you need to change a few things here and there every time you go onto the court.
Earlier on Tuesday, Sindhu, flanked by her coaches Pulela Gopichand and Kim Ji-yoon, met Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi and interacted with him. Also present on the occasion were Sindhu's father P.V. Ramana and Sports Minister Kiran Rijiju. Prime Minister Modi wished luck to the ace shuttler for her future endeavours.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Pakistan uses terror as diplomatic tool, says Indian Foreign Minister Jaishankar. Pakistan closes Karachi airspace amid soaring tensions with India. And Afghanistan's first Vice President Dostum questions Ghani's policies on peace and security. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter at @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.
Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.